JT after you're done.
Are you guys serious? Did you see that, Kyler? I told you he's gonna be incredible. One more time.
Yeah!
And he's my friend, right? And I'm telling you, what just came out of him, wow. Like, I didn't even know that he was an entrepreneur in 6th grade. Picking up poop, I thought he just did that for fun. He seems like one of those type of guys. No, but seriously, and when he talks about coming from the heart, like, it's true, and that goes back to, like, when you're focusing on your goals and what you're wanting in life, you gotta be true to yourself, right? You gotta focus on your heart, not what your mind's telling you. Like, for him, I was one of those kids being like, dude, Kyler, you got it good, bro. You're making $100 grand a year. And Kyler's like, dude, I'm out in North Dakota with nobody. I ice fish for fun. Sitting in a little box fishing, just sitting there, not even fly fishing or anything, right? I'm like, dude, but you got it good, man, the money. But that's people thinking with their head, right? But when you stay true to yourself and you let your heart follow, and you say, hey, this is what I need to do because I'm being true to myself, man, it blows up. And you can't even imagine the good things that start coming in your life when you start following what you're passionate about. And that's why I want to bring our next guest speaker, this guy, JT. Oh my gosh, he's incredible. When I met this man, every time I see this guy, when he starts speaking, I'm just like, dude, you're just like speaking words of God to me right now. It's incredible, right? He's so passionate about what he does, and he's so real, which is the most amazing thing. And he digs down for you to find out, like, hey, I do need to, like, take a look at myself and listen to what this guy's saying, because, like I said, he's just being real. And you're about to see that in this presentation. So with that, I want to bring up JT.
Yeah! Hey guys, I know you've seen me a few times, so now it's nice to know that you know a little bit about me. And the people that we have assembled here to bring this seminar to you are just incredible. And I hope that you guys realize that. And I hope that you can feel how passionate we are about you and your success. And the reason why is we all have a story. So I'm going to share a little bit about mine. And I'm a lot older than Kyler, so I have a bigger story, so we're not going to hear the whole thing. Okay? Fair enough? When I first came out, I've always been an action guy. I mean, and that's what I'm talking about. But you just got to do it. You know, right? You got an idea, do it. You got an idea, do it. How are you going to know if it works if you don't do it? So I started working for my dad. I think I was probably 6. You know, I needed a new baseball glove or a new bat or something. So I'm like, hey, Dad, can I come to work with you? He's like, sure. He owned his own company, of course. And I'd go in there and work for him. He'd pay me. And what he paid me in was lunch and either a bat or a glove or a ball or a tee, whatever it was I needed. And then I went to the paper route and all these different things. I did work at the pizzeria as soon as I could, as soon as I got that work release, right? And through high school, I was even a lead carpenter and during the day, and then I worked nights at the Denver Salad Company, which, by the way, is where I met my current wife. And I don't know why I said current wife, because she's probably going to be my only wife. But she's definitely my current wife, and if you're watching this, honey, that is so true. So I've always been a big business guy, and I always knew that I wanted to do something. I went through college the same way. I went to college to play baseball. I did not care about college. Like, I didn't care about being in a room and learning anything. I was good at writing papers. I got straight A's. It wasn't that I didn't know what I was doing. I just didn't care. I was there to play baseball. So I came out of it. I had a degree, and I'm like, I'll go work at the Olive Garden. So I'm working at the Olive Garden, and one day this gentleman comes in, and he goes, you know what, young man, you're pretty impressive. Why don't you come work for me? I said, well, I don't know. I'm doing pretty good here at the Olive Garden. And he goes, well, I run a mortgage company. I said, mortgage company, money, finance. Yeah, I'll come work for you. So I show up the first day, and here I think I'm pretty cool. I got some slacks on. I got my shirt untucked. You know, I got no tie. I walk in. I don't even know this guy. I served him dinner at the Olive Garden. And he grabs me and takes me in the bathroom, physically takes me to the bathroom and says, tuck your shirt in. Where's your tie? You can use one of mine. First day. And I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? But that man changed my life and got me to realize that life is sometimes about odds, right? And the better the odds, the easier it is to be successful. So I started dressing differently. I started hanging around different people, like Carter talked about. I started hanging around people who were about taking action, about doing things, teaching me how to do sales. So let's fast forward a little bit. I started a mortgage company, I sold it to my partner, started a real estate company, and it was very big. I was doing very well. We grossed $140,000 a month. And I had 12 employees, and I was an asshole. And I said that. Yes, I was a total jerk. And I did not care who you were, whether you were related or not. I ran over you. And I just wanted to make a lot of money. And I did make a lot of money. And there came a point where I lost it all. And I was so attached to that business, and I had run over so many of my friends that when I lost it all, there wasn't anybody there. It was just me. And when I lost that company, I was crushed. And I thought that my measure of success was the company, right? As long as the company was doing well and I was making all this money, I was a success. The moment I lost all that, what was I? I literally went into depression and tried to kill myself over the next 2 years after losing that company. And I know right now you might be thinking, well, JT, why are you sharing this with us? Well, maybe you're where I was. Maybe you're in a position where it's time to take some action and change something. Because you know what happened? I tried to kill myself. I ended up in the hospital. My wife came in and she said, you stop it. You got 3 girls at home. You stop it. And on that day I woke up and I said, you know what? Screw this. And the hospital said, well, we can't let you out. We got to run some things or whatever. And I looked right at the nurse and I said, you know what? I'm going home. I got 3 little girls at home and they need me. And I left. You see, when you decide that you want something and you get emotionally involved with that decision, you can have it. And I'm living, breathing proof of that. Where I've come, and we're only talking a few years. And you heard from my personal life coach, who was a big key in that change. But let's get into it. Let's talk about action. What I do at that moment in that hospital, when I was literally, I had tried to overdose myself. Fortunately, I'm a very big guy, so it didn't work. And I'm here today because it didn't work. And I got 3 little girls that would not be in the same position if I wasn't here. And I don't know where you're at. I don't know if your story is as big and as powerful as mine, but if it is, get excited. Because if it's that bad, it's going to be that good. Everything has an opposite. If it's that bad right now, that means you're going to do good stuff. That means you're going to have a story that's going to change people's lives. That's going to influence the environment around you and raise everybody around you. Because you went through something that most people can't even take. So let's talk about action. The first thing that I want to say about action is you've got to make a decision. So let's define that. That's not just saying, oh yeah, I want to be rich. I want to have a lot of friends. I want to have a relationship. That's a dream. That's a wish and a prayer. That's not going to get you anything. You got to make a decision. A decision is looking at that situation in that hospital and your wife's telling you to stop your crap. And you say, you know what? I don't really like this. This is not where I pictured myself being. And you turn around, you face the other direction, you walk out the door. And whether it's a nurse or a doctor or a security guard, you don't let them stop you. Whether it's your mom, whether it's your sister, or your dad, or your brother, or your friends. You don't let them stop you because you know why? Because it's your life. And those people love you. and they love you so much that their false evidence that appears real, they're trying to protect you from that. So it's not that they want you to fail, Kyler. It's not that they want you to fail. It's that they don't know any better. And they're afraid just like you are. And they want more than anything, just like I want for my kids, more than anything for them to be successful. Fortunately, I know enough to recognize that that's just false. It's not true. It's made up. You tell me right now, what does fear look like? You see, we think in pictures. And when I say fear, what picture comes? I would venture to say one doesn't. There is no picture of fear because it does not exist. It's something we made up. You know, at one point in our existence, we had to run through from saber-toothed tigers, or whatever it was, then maybe fear was real. But it's not now. When you think of fear, there's no picture. So when we talk about decision, look at what you have in your life right now that you don't want, and turn around and say, this is what I want. Now the key here is, once you've turned around and you're facing what you want, you've got to do something. You've got to take action in the direction of what you want. All the good books talk about it. It's called faith. Right? And we're going to talk about faith a little bit. And you say, JT, wait, you're talking about action. Yeah, but you don't take action if you don't have faith. You get that? If you don't have faith that you can get where you're going, you don't take action. So people go to events or they attend webinars like this or a live event, and they get all pumped up. And the next day they say, yeah, but this is my life. This is not JT's life. You know, mine's a lot easier, or mine's a lot harder. That's usually what you say, right? My life's a lot harder than JT's. You just heard my story. I tried to kill myself. Right? Your life's harder than mine? I grew up in a family of 9 kids, guys. My dad worked his butt off every single day. Usually on weekends. Just to keep us fed. You think your life's harder than mine? Your life's not any different than mine. It's not any different than anybody else in this room. Anybody else watching this. So stop using that as an excuse. I'm giving you permission right now. Stop using that as an excuse. The next thing about action is people think, okay, Super Dave talked earlier about massive and immediate action. They say, okay, well, I got to take this massive action and all this stuff, and I'm just not prepared for that. No. No. Massive and immediate action means that you do something on the thought that you have in this moment. The idea that you have in this moment. Where do ideas come from? I'm of the belief that they're delivered to me by God. And if I don't take action, how much faith do I have?
0.
0. Right? And I couldn't look myself in the mirror every day and say, I have faith, if I didn't take action. So if you ask those around me, I take action constantly and consistently on everything. Because there's no way I'm going to let him down. It's just not going to happen. Right? And I got 3 beautiful little girls at home that depend on me every day to keep the faith. Right? So there's no way I'm not taking action. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. It's not a big deal. It's doing something. Earlier, you did some exercises where your action was writing down something. Those of you who wrote something down, congratulations. You took massive and immediate action. That's the first step. And that will lead to the next idea. And if you take action on that idea, it will lead to the next one, which you'll take action on that. Because when you write down that picture and that dream, and you get a hold of that, that's like a thread. And you follow that thread. And as long as you keep that picture in your head and you follow that thread, taking action in the direction of that picture, the thread gets stronger. And pretty soon it's a rope. And then it's a chain. And then it's hooked to you, and it's actually so big that it pulls you towards it. And that's why action is so important. And we've given you opportunities throughout today to take action. And some of you did, and I congratulate you for that, because that's going to change your life. Bob Proctor says it really good when he says, prayer is us talking to God. Action is us saying we're ready to receive the blessings we just asked for. Right? So our inspiration, our intuition is God talking back to us. And that is what produces the action that you take. Right? So let's say I pray to God or Buddha or to the universe. Whoever it is I pray to. And I sit down and I say, I want a better life. I want a better wife. I want a better relationship. I want better friends. I want more money. And then the rest of the week, or even the rest of the day, I'm walking around like, fuck, I don't have enough money. I don't like my wife. I don't like my job. I don't like my this. How much faith do I have? 0. So what action am I going to take in the direction of my dream with 0 faith?
None.
Right? So you cannot separate them. You cannot separate them. You must have faith that the action you take is going to get you where you want. I went to an event recently with Thomas Taddock was the speaker, and he said something that I thought was absolutely brilliant. And what he said was, make a decision and then make it right. And I'm going to repeat that. Make a decision and then make it right. You see, every decision you make is right. The difference is, most people don't make it right. And can anybody guess how you make it right?
Action.
You have the faith to take the action to make it right. And the hardest thing in the world to do is to have that faith. I'm not saying it's easy. Because I can walk through and I can look at my bank account and say, wow, I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills. Or I can say, you know what? This is going to be an interesting challenge. Let's see how we can get through this. I wonder how I'm going to do this. But I don't just sit there in this position and meditate and say, how am I going to do this? No. I look at it and say, okay, that's a challenge. And then I look over here and say, that's what I want. And I start to think about that and I say, okay, I have faith that I'm going to get that. And I start taking action. All of a sudden, whoa, there's money in my bank account now. And then I take another action. Whoa, there's more money. Whoa, right? Because that's how it happens. That's how it happens every time. So we're going to take a quick break. I want you to think about what I said. And I want you to write down one action step that you are going to take today with complete faith that's going to move you towards your goal. So let's take about 2 minutes to do that.